Alright, welcome to my review of Mario and Luigi Brothership. This was an unexpected revival of the series after 9 years since our last original game in the series, which I'd say it's a very good return to form. This time it's in full 3D on a home console, which is both amazing for the graphics and camera angles, which they fully utilized. But I believe because they did it in like completely new system, new 3D, that they kind of had issues with like content, um, specifically enough content. I feel like there was a lot of unnecessary padding that they felt like they wanted to do just because like I don't know, modern RPGs, they always feel like, oh, they got to give the customers like enough time, bang for their buck. But honestly, it could have been like half as long and I would have really enjoyed it. But it's not all bad. It's actually like, those weren't even that glaring issues. Honestly, it was really solid. And I'm sure if like I skipped all the side quests and all that stuff, then it would have been fine. Although some, like half the side quests, were like pretty meh, but some of them were actually pretty good. Really expanded on some of the characters that I liked in the story. And speaking of the story starts off kind of typical, um, but going into like the mid till end game, it became like, while it wasn't like, without spoilers, I would have to say um, the story wasn't like, wow, that is breaking new ground. But the execution was so good, and it really took like a huge left turn that you wouldn't even expect it. And yeah, I think it's one of my favorite Mario and Luigi ending game like stories, for especially for just the end game compared to all the other ones. Even though the other ones were really good, like yeah, one of the best Mario and Luigi games, I'd say. Combat felt really good. There were times, especially during the late game, where the game kind of lagged, but combat in general was um, pretty much perfect. The plug system is a really, really fun mechanic with lots of mix and match combat abilities that really rewarded like experimenting. Um, Music wise, I would say they did a really good job of fitting to the theme and the feeling that they wanted you to feel in the game. Um, I do think that some mid bosses and bosses should have had their own unique themes, just like in previous games, which was a bit of a miss. I don't know why didn't have enough like variety of music, specifically like the unique bosses like Bowser and the extension core. But for the music we did get, it was really good. Um, let's see. I do like the return of freaking the Bros moves from Superstar Saga built into the normal attacks, which is just a really great step in the right direction, and it rewards like keeping both brothers alive and well. Uh, the companion was actually well written, Snoutlet. So, oh, and I guess I will say, oh, regarding story, there is like multiple points in the story where you can make a choice between two branching paths that actually change the uh, the route and the cutscenes you get, or the difficulty, which is really cool for replayability. Another nice thing about this series is, this game is Peach and Bowser actually are just themselves. They're not like taken over. I mean, it's like the first in the series. I feel like that they've actually got to play a role by themselves and not be like, the major antagonist takes over their body, which is fine and dandy. Like, it's nice to have this fresh change for once, and they actually play a large role in it, which is really nice. Um, Took me about 50-ish hours to beat the game fully. I missed once mandatory, like, missable side quest, but that's okay, whatever. Um, yeah, I guess if I were to give it a number rating, it would be like 8.5 out of 10. Very, very solid. The only points docked were from, I think, the unique music missing and the length of the game could have been shortened. But yeah, solid RPG.